some of the problems that have started in the communities with the gang presence has now spread into our high schools, some of it into our middle schools, and again, one of the local high schools routinely fights between rival gangs.
That's the sheriff of Frederick County, Charles Jenkins, and those gang members, he says most of them came here illegally as young people that are sometimes described as dreamers. Joining us on the line right now is the sheriff of Frederick County, Chuck Jenkins. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Well, I mean, that was quite eye-opening testimony. You have been very active in your sheriff's office, making sure that people get arrested, actually get screened to find out whether or not they're in this country legally or illegally. And you have a record of making sure that those that are here illegally get brought to the attention of federal authorities. So how serious is the situation with these people that we call dreamers? As they come to this country, we often find out they have some kind of gang connection.
Well, listen, let's not categorize every person who comes here illegally as a criminal or as a gang member, but there is a percentage, the problem's growing. There is a certain element of criminal gangs that come here with already have gang affiliation, so it's a growing problem. It's not only in Frederick County, but every jurisdiction.
But you have placed 1,400 individuals that came to your county, this country illegally in your county, and also committed crimes.
That's right.
You placed them on the list to get them removed.
Well, what we do, we have a partnership with ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We're in what's known as the 287G Delegation of Authority Program. We basically work under the supervision of ICE, and this is the way it works, gentlemen. Everybody who is arrested in Frederick County is brought to our detention center, and they're asked two simple questions. Where were you born, and what country are you a citizen of? Any answer other than the United States, we go about the process of investigating your immigration status. And if it's found that you're in the country illegally based on your name, your information that's in the database, your biometrics, we file the appropriate paperwork, take the steps, and basically place a hold on you for ICE to come in and in some cases, a lot of cases, place you in removal proceedings.
So I guess what we're trying to get at, and of course no one here is suggesting that everybody who enters this country illegally is a gang member, but you're in charge of monitoring what exactly is going on in Frederick County. We know that a lot of the minors, and minor is defined as anyone under 18, the minors who entered this country illegally over this big influx over the last 18 months, many of them have been relocated to our area. So have you seen an uptick? Are you seeing more of this activity than you did before, and can you quantify that?
I can, actually. Since 2014, we've seen an uptick in the number of so-called unaccompanied minors who were given deferred actions by ICE and Border Security or Border Patrol have been relocated to this area. And we've had a number of cases, and I don't have the numbers at my fingertips here.
That's fine.
But a number of kids who came here as unaccompanied minors, we know they had gang affiliations at the time, are now adults, and they're committing serious crimes.
And in general, are you seeing an uptick during that same period of MS-13 and other type of violent gang activity in Frederick County?
Yes, we are. We've seen a growth in the local MS-13 numbers, also the 18th Street. They are rival gangs in a certain part of Frederick City, and we see the problems that are in the neighborhood, in the community, now have spread in to mainly one local high school, and where fights among these rival gangs are fairly routine.
Wow. So, look, if you're in Frederick County and you want to get away from the tough enforcement that your department is providing, one only need to go about 10 miles south on I-270, and you're in Montgomery County, where the situation is very different, is it not?
It is. It is. Listen, it's fair enforcement. It's not overly tough. We simply partner and cooperate with ICE. Gentlemen, I'm doing everything I can to keep my citizens safe. Follow the law, enforce the law, and I don't think anybody can argue that.
Well, hold on. You say it's fair enforcement, and I agree. But just south of where you are, it seems to be no enforcement of these things. Is that a problem for you?
No, I generally no. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
So are you getting you said you're getting cooperation from ICE, but is this just an ICE issue, or I mean, is there anyone else in the administration? I know that you testified before Congress that can lend you a hand here, because it seems to me they're transporting they're transporting criminals into your county and then just walking away saying, your problem now.
Listen, ICE is broken. ICE is broken at the highest levels, okay? The agents in the field offices, the Baltimore field office, which is who we work with, absolutely want to accomplish a mission, do their jobs, but they're not allowed to because of the administration's shifting of policies, deferred actions, suspending deportations. At the highest levels, ICE is broken. And until this administration decides that we're either going to enforce the laws or change the laws, and that was my point to Congress, unless this Congress does something and the next president does something, right, this problem's only going to get worse.
I would imagine it's very frustrating for those agents who want to do their job but can't.
Absolutely is. It absolutely is. Let me tell you, these men and women work hard. They need local law enforcement to help, to cooperate. Listen, there's no reason that any police chief, any sheriff can at least cooperate, pick up the telephone, and if there's a hold placed on someone or if someone has a detainer on them, hold them so ICE can come get them. That's all they're asking for is cooperation.
Well, maybe Chief Manger would listen to that and takes appropriate action. One can only hope.
One could only hope.
Listen, I'm not going to criticize any other sheriff or any other chief. I'm only going to do what's right in Frederick County for my citizens.
Well, yes, you are. And listen, we appreciate the fact that you're doing that. Sheriff Charles Jenkins, Frederick County Sheriff, we really appreciate you joining us here today.